Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Lifestyle by SK, where wine, cigars, and relationships create that tapestry of extraordinary experience. And in today's culture, the lines between having financial standards and straight up gold digging have been blurred, even though we can tell them apart in different times. But I want to look at in this particular video here, I want to go a little bit deeper in looking at the growing trend that we are seeing that's going on when people are using relationships as a financial shortcut and not as a foundation, is what I like to talk about on the channel, because my channel is definitely about bringing the foundational rooted relationship back. We have the man, the woman coming together. They're creating their families, creating their legacy, building their households, and building them good and strong. But however, when men and women are looking at this, is it love or is it a hustle? And that's what we want to look at today. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into it. But when did dating become an investment strategy? I mean, think about it. We didn't go to take no college class, taking a finance class in college or high school, talking about how this can impact relationships. People were looking for jobs. But I want to look at some different clips online. I just went through, just did just a generic search just to see what would come up, and there's a lot of different ones that come up. So some of these definitely shout out to the content creators. You're going to see their tags down in the bottom of the video, so definitely go and check out their video in full. So definitely want to give them credit where credit is due right there. But let's come back and we're going to do the commentary behind it. But keep in mind, this is not high standards, people. This is high level manipulation. So let's go ahead and jump on it. We're just going to pick just a couple of videos just by random and just jump right into it here. Let's check these out.
How you can tell if he's a provider-minded man. Well, he provides emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and most of the time financially. If there is a need or a problem, he willingly wants to fill that need or solve that problem. But here are some clues. Number 1, acts of service is his top love language. I can confidently say this is all provider-minded men. He wants to take action and do things for you. He's very much in his masculine energy, the doing. Number 2, if you clearly express you need help with something and he takes action to make it happen. Examples: a ride to the doctor's office, building your new bookshelf, setting up your podcast equipment, getting you groceries. Number 3, he'll always find ways to give you gifts because he knows you need them. That's a practical gift. Or it'll make you happy. That's a pampering gift. With the practical gift, again, there is a need and he is fulfilling it. Number 4, he won't entertain the idea of you splitting the bill with him, and he might even get offended because he cares about taking care of you. And lastly, number 5, if he sees you struggling or stressed, he'll do something to help you. He won't ignore it. He won't say, sucks to be you. He won't say, such is life, life is hard. No, he will try his best to remove that stress.
So, ladies, with that particular video right there, she said a couple of things in it that is very, very interesting. And here's the thing: she mentioned a ride to the doctor's office, for example. But here's the thing: if people, I would advise that people should be stable before they get into relationships. Meaning, you have a place that you live, whether that's an apartment or a house. You have transportation, whether that is your BMW or that's your point A to get you to point A to point B car or a hoopty or whatever, that you're able to maintain the lifestyle that you live that you want by yourself, meaning you can go buy your own groceries, you can go to the store on your own, you don't have to depend on somebody to take you somewhere. I would highly advise that people get into the state of being stable, at least have stable income, a stable job. Don't have to make six figures a year, but just being able to be stable. What she's saying in this video is a man who is a provider minded man, meaning that he somehow was trained to be the one that's giving out. But I never heard her mention one thing about what this specific young lady is bringing to the table. Because, ladies, believe it, you do have to bring your own piece to the table. You have to be able to put things together. Like, what are you bringing into the relationship overall itself? Let's take a look at this second video here, and then we'll come back and then take a look at it here.
Restaurant he gonna take you to? What's the last restaurant your daddy took you to? Because you shouldn't be coming to him to be your daddy. That's not his role. It's a first date. Our second question is, have you ever been anywhere? Where do you take yourself? Let me see your checkbook registry. Let me log into your bank account and see what you feed yourself. A lady is gonna be there for the purpose of what it's for. She's not looking for food because she's hungry that she can't afford so she can take it to go and get a doggy bag. I'm gonna wrap this up to go. Why? You ain't gonna have food tomorrow? It don't need to be a steakhouse. We don't even know if you work a steak.
So, ma'am, you don't have to check her checkbook registry, but you can check her Instagram. And I'm sure he did before he slid into her DMs. She was already taking herself to Nobu. She was already buying mimosa towers. She was already doing brunch every weekend with her girls. She was already taking trips. Your son could easily pick a woman who would be fine with coffee dates, fine with ice cream dates, walks in the park, Netflix and chill, her coming over to cook for him on a first date. But he doesn't want those women. He wants the women whose standards are higher. It's not every woman's job to make it easier for your son. This is not a good look. It's not a good look having your mommy jump on the internet and tell women to lower their standards so that they could give you a chance. She's on the internet telling women to lower their standards. You better tell your son to lower his, because there are plenty of women who he could get with, but he wants the baddies. The women who already look high maintenance. She already taking care of herself. The men always want to be the exception to the rule. Everybody else who's ever dated her has taken care of her, but your son wants to come in there and be like, I don't want to take care of you, but I love you though. She might say that's not good enough, and that's her business. There is a pot for every lid. Your son can easily find his match, but your son is trying to get above and beyond what he can offer someone, and people aren't taking that offer. If your son keeps going out on dates with women who use him for a free meal, his picker is broken. He needs to choose better. He needs to vet these women properly before taking them out on actual dates. Talk to them on the phone. Talk to them via FaceTime. If he keeps getting used for a free meal, he's the problem. Your son has to date in his price range. He can't afford every woman. There are some women whose standards require that a man provide for them. All he has to do is find a woman whose standards he meets. But he doesn't want to do that. He'd rather tell the women to lower their standards so that he can finally qualify. No, ma'am. Then you're going to say, we don't even know if she's worth a steak. Who is we? Like, is the boy paying for the dates with your money? Because then I can understand why you mad.
So on this second video, the mother, ladies, you have to understand that the mother, she has a son that she is seeing what the females are doing to the young men right now. And she doesn't want her son to be taken advantage of. So she's basically telling you exactly what she's saying. I don't think there's any better way that she could say that. And she, as I said in the first part of the other video, if you're already doing this for yourself, people should definitely, one, be stable. So people can say or ask, is this a young man stable? Whether or not that he is, what type of women is he dating? Now, the second young lady, and her video is down right here, like Life Coach Sean, I believe that must be her there. But the question is, I don't even think the young man was asking to even, his mom was asking for him to for the ladies to lower their standard. I don't even think that is the case. What I would also ask is the young men that are picking the women out here, I would ask you to raise your standard for the type of women that you are dating, making sure that they are stable, because you definitely want to be stable. You want to make sure that she is also stable too. I would not advise on any circumstances just doing FaceTime talking to somebody, because obviously you want to be out in a public place. And that's why I mentioned a park, coffee shop, whatever. Use that as a way where you have other people around in case something happened, that you all can actually talk and see who's doing what. Because the questions are going to come up whether or not, if you have a job, don't necessarily have to state where you work, but the fact is, do you have a job, or or how do you make your money? And then two, do you have a way that you're able to actually come in there and take a look at it? Now, what I will say is the second young lady had valid points, but here's the thing that I noticed. Ladies, I notice when you make a little bit more money, you tend to act a little bit different. So is it because that you're making more money, or possibly more than the men that are approaching you? Do you feel that you have to have this certain aura about you or attitude about you that is basically a turn off to him? because they're saying, okay, is that more masculine energy coming out because you're making more money? Another thing, going through all of this right here and looking at the two lists, you see this young lady on the second video at the end, this one right here specifically. For her, I'm wondering if she's used to dealing with men who don't have anything. Now, the men who are stable, thing is, just as well as she can say maybe he's out of his league, I will also say that a lot of women are out of their league, because when you think about it, majority of the time, and let's be real, majority of the time, the women want the men who make a lot more money than them, so the men can take care of their needs. It's very unlikely that you're going to have the woman who is making significantly more taking care of the man. That's just not going to happen. It just wasn't designed that way. So you can also argue that point, that as well as she's saying that that young man needs to stay in his lane, a lot of you ladies need to stay in your lane as well. A lot of you will not even date the average man that is working the average job, i.e., somebody who may be a manager at a local food restaurant, or somebody that may be back on a trash truck, or somebody that may even drive a trash truck or whatever, or a plumber, just something like that, other than the suit and tie brothers. So there's different valid arguments on both sides there, but it definitely needs some evaluation. Now, here's the thing. Having standards doesn't mean you should be financially dependent on someone else that you just met by any circumstances. What I would argue is that both people should have stable jobs, regardless of how much that they make in a year. And if they really like each other, because they don't know about how much they make when they first come together, people get together based on attraction. And if they're getting together, hopefully, if both of them are stable, they have their own money, they have their own bank accounts, they have their own vehicles, they have their own living residence, they have their own address. They can take themselves out to eat, they can wash their own clothes, they can take themselves to the doctor. If they can do all this independently, when you come together and start a foundation, then you all can move forward from there. But the question is, because people make a difference in money, a lot of times people don't want somebody that makes significantly less. They want somebody that makes significantly more. And who's that fall on? The men, a lot of times. Now, the financial standards is ladies wanting a man who is stable and responsible and goal oriented. I would think that would be more ideal, because it's bringing more values into the relationship. Now, when you look at gold digging, expecting a man to fund your lifestyle before you even built a bond, that is where I think that we have a big problem at in today's dating environment, as we are seeing in so many different instances, especially on social media, but even just from random people that I have talked to, and even friends that I have talked to, they have experienced this very same thing. They have experienced this very same thing of a lot of ladies wanting, these high price things in the beginning, but they're not, they're doing more. The woman is expecting them to give more, but the woman is not expecting to give anything at all. And that is what just they're seeing. So I'm just giving you just my perspective on what I've heard from people, and then just being out just in the general public, just seeing what's going on when people are out on dates and stuff. And it's very interesting when you just sit back and just watch. But having standards, you know, that's not a problem. But your standards should not, but your relationship should not be financially dependent on someone that you just met. Now, you've seen many different times on social media, with women wanting their nails done, the Uber to come pick them up if he wants to see them, and all this emotional, things are going on. But the men are having to provide more up front. Hey, can you get my hair done because we're going out on a date? I mean, if you was already maintaining that before you met him, you're going to need to continue to maintain that once that relationship gets into the mix. Because the question that I can ask then is, ladies, is if you're saying the man should get your hair done, then the question is, how many of you had actually paid for a man's haircut at the barbershop? So for every question that you ask, there is going to be a question coming back at you as well that's going to be asking similarly about the same thing. Now, in terms of rent, there's been some videos on that. That is not a standard. That most definitely is a scam. And you definitely have to watch out for it. So that is what we are seeing. That is what a lot of people are getting into now. And this is really, really interesting. Now, there is another lady on social media, and I've seen a couple of the videos there, but I definitely want you all to check that out too. But this one right here is definitely very interesting. Let's check this one out here.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing: the moment that a man does not give you clarity, the moment that he does not give you clarity, because I'm not going to throw this on him, it's your responsibility to ask for that clarity. And if he still does not give you that clarity when you ask for it, it's your responsibility to analyze yourself and realize when this person is stressing you out or making you anxious or creating confusion. And then it's your responsibility to walk away. Stop worrying about that damn right move. We don't give a shit about that. Worry about the fact that this man has already put you in a position to where you have been confused. And in any dating or relationship, there should never be a moment of confusion, because that's going to trigger your anxiety and it's going to make it worse for you. That's all I got for you, honey bun.
She always providing, that woman there is always providing some insightful advice, because the women would ask, different types of questions, and she always comes back with some truth behind it. And that's a really valid point. And that could go definitely both ways there. When you're dating or going on that first date, if you don't have, or you don't see anything as crystal clear, you see some red flags, that could be your key to just stop and just move on, because you're not obligated to continue on with that date. So that can definitely go both ways. But she had a lady that asked her that specific question, and she responded accordingly with that. And that made much more sense afterwards. And there's other videos that's there. And there's one more about what the woman should bring to the table. This one was I haven't seen this one yet, but it looks like it's interesting. But let's take a look at this one here. And once again, shout out to the content creators of these particular videos. Their handles are down there on the bottom, so you can definitely go check out their channels. So definitely want to get credit where credit is due on that one. Let's check out this one here.
What do women need to bring to the table? It's not just a man that needs to bring something to the table. We do too. And here's a list based on experience, research that I came up with. So take out your pen and paper. Let's get into it, family. Number 1, she needs to be nurturing, if she's gonna be the mother of your kids and all. Number 2, capacity and willingness to respect you as a man. Number 3, to be understanding of most men's innate pressure to perform in order to provide for his family. To be understanding of that. The next one is not to add to that pressure. It's already heavy enough. Next is to be supportive. Strength of character, moral compass, God-fearing. Intelligent and competent. She's loyal. And last but not least, does not allow for outside voices to impact the dynamics of the relationship.
Wow. So that one was the most definitely insightful there. And the thing is, people, social media is full of videos. Now, there's people like the first video where the mother understands what the nature of the females are doing in today's relationships, and she's gaming her son up. Then the video with the other lady behind that, who was kind of rebutting against that, is an example of what a lot of times some women do respond back in that manner. So, of course, seeing from what she said, I can see that men shying away from her in that regard. The third lady that was on stage, she provided some really good insight, and I like how the way that she responded back, because it was very ladylike responding back. It wasn't any, what they say today, masculine energy from her response. She gave the ladies what they needed to hear. She gave it to them delicately, and they were able to take the information, retain it, and hopefully use it in the next relationship or dating environment that they're going in. And then the fourth lady about what the women need to bring to the table. A lot of things that she said in that video, ladies, is free. The fact that a man is going to come to you for peace, you may be able to provide that to him. You may be able to understand how to raise a family and being supportive. Like, that is free things. And that could be one of the key reasons why a lot of you sometimes will always ask, why do the quote unquote good black men always go to non-black women? You have to understand too that some of the gems she dropped in there, the fourth lady there, maybe they are doing and performing those particular tasks that she's talking about. So I just want to just give you just a few videos just to get y'all thinking and everything. So definitely make sure that you all comment down there, because I definitely want to hear, I'm sure I'm going to get some different perspectives from different sides. But dating, it has become transactional, looks for money, attention for success, and everybody just wants that champagne lifestyle on a bare budget. But here's the thing, no one wants to build life together. So when some women see men as walking wallets and some men see women as access points to status, but we've replaced love and loyalty with leverage. And I'll leave you all with all of this here. Real hardworking men are going to walk away from women that they may find dangerous or who may be red flags, but good women get labeled as gold diggers too. So just be honest with that. Many different things can happen from different sides, but the trust is most definitely broken in the dating culture right now, even before the relationship even starts. And you can see that in the videos and the responses online, because as people put out information like I do on these videos, people react to it and people give their opinion on it and everything like that. But the entire community is suffering, particularly the black community is suffering, because when love is treated like a business model, it's definitely going down like that. But people, a come up, and I'll leave you with this, a come up built on deception is still a downfall waiting to happen at some point. So tell me this, out of all this, what we've talked about and what I've talked about today, is it gold digging, or are we lying and calling it standards? So definitely let me know in the comments below. Like, listen, subscribe to the channel. Lifestyle by SK, where wine, cigars, and relationships create that tapestry of extraordinary experience. And as always, you all have a pleasant rest, your day, evening, night, afternoon, or whatever it is you have out there. If you all enjoyed the channel, definitely like, listen, and subscribe, and share it.